Hi, and welcome to the second 6 weeks overview video for English 2 Unit 3. This 6 weeks we will be looking at reading expository and persuasive pieces. The primary focus is on persuasion, however, as students will begin tackling writing persuasive essays in the second bundle of Unit 4. So it makes sense, as we discussed in Content Conversations, to use mentor text to attack both the reading and writing standards. In this video, I'm going to share a strategy to help you focus on breaking down the text for reading standards. It should show students the power of concessions and get at that, explain the shifts in perspective and arguments about the same topic piece of the standard. But first, let's take a look at the questions they asked on the 2018 STAR around the persuasive passage. We have, how does the author try to convince readers of his point in paragraph 9, analyzing a support? Read this box text and then make an inference about it. Again, analyzing support or structure. And in which sentence does the author seem to accept that technology on Mount Everest is inevitable, which is a concession? All of those involve making inferences about why the author constructed his argument in the way that he did. So how do we get them to think about that? Enter the SDQR strategy, a technique that Kelly Gallagher suggests in his book, Teaching Adolescent Writers. SDQR stands for, as you can see, say, doesn't say, questions, and reflection. You can have students draw a 4-column chart or a 4-square or some kind of 4-piece graphic organizer to create this chart. To introduce them to this technique, it's a good idea to throw out something simple like a short video or an infographic and practice using the SDQR technique with that. Here's an infographic I dug up with a Creative Commons search. It's about popcorn. Let's see the strategy in action. The infographic says a number of things succinctly. It lists health benefits. It tells us that this is only true of air-popped popcorn. And it has a picture of a movie theater popcorn container. Now let's think about what it doesn't say. It doesn't say how butter, salt, or flavorings might change the benefits. It doesn't say that air-popped popcorn is flavorless and bland. It doesn't say who the author is. It doesn't appear to be written by a company as an advertisement. It doesn't say that it was created by some farming group like Corn Growers of America or anything like that. It doesn't give sources for its facts. It doesn't say anything about GMOs, which is a hot-button topic with some people. And lastly, it gives no information about how corn is miraculously good in this air-pop form, but somehow it's horrible for me in its syrupized concoctions. All of these observations about what this infographic doesn't say lead to important inferences about how the author builds his or her argument. The lack of citations on those facts may make some question the validity of them. The fact that we can get an image of tasty popcorn buckets from the movie theater that's usually soaked in butter and salt and cooked in oil may misrepresent the taste we know we'll experience. And the list goes on. But this could build into a discussion about concessions in persuasive argument and how an author who avoids acknowledging any arguments his opposition might make could be undermining his whole position. So we have some questions, like who wrote this and why? Did corn farmers write it? They may need to drive some health benefit ideas into the public's mind, since everyone discusses how bad corn syrup is for you so much lately. Are air popcorn machine makers trying to drive sales with this? Orville Redenbacher seems like a likely candidate. Of course, corn could be a crop genetically engineered by aliens to... Oh, I've said too much. Now, it's time to reflect on some of our thinking. This might be a more effective infographic if we knew where the facts came from. Knowing the author might help us understand the purpose or the hidden purpose of this infographic. And I probably read too many internet conspiracy sites. So once you use this strategy on something easy, transfer it to the complex text you're presenting in class. Pull some mentor texts that are strong with writing examples and share those with students. But make sure you get some with concessions and some without concessions. SDQR a piece without concessions. And do the same thing with one that has concessions. Then students will see through analyzing what the texts do say don't say, and asking questions and reflecting on how it's important to take those different viewpoints and address the elephant in the room, the power of the concession and why it's important to take on those different viewpoints. So thanks for watching. Have a great 6 weeks. I hope you're able to persuade students to think deeply about the texts they read.